international law does not allow one country, even the USA, to go in and kidnap the president of another country. If they do that, how are they going to complain if anybody else does the same anywhere else?
Would you describe him as a friend, though, or an ally?
I don't know him well enough to be able to say that.
OK. The reason I say this, you say it doesn't matter whether he's a decent guy or not. I mean, this is from Amnesty International. You're an internationalist. Amnesty is an important organisation, saying that last year after the presidential election, 24 people died as a result of the government's repression. 2 of the victims were children, and 1 was a police officer. There's been arbitrary detentions on unfair trials. Now, let's park aside what the United States done for a second. Surely it's a good thing that he's not president of Venezuela anymore,
but
given
that should be...
he is not a nice guy.
Now, if the US was serious about dealing with human rights abuses, which they are not. They're not anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but are you? That's my point.
Of course I am.
Well, you have to. Well, why don't you say categorically he was a pretty evil dictator?
You seem to be trying to move this whole conversation away from the reality of what Trump has done. Invaded another country.
If you answer the question, if you condemn him, I'll move on.
You know, condemn Maduro, otherwise shut up. Can you imagine in any world a Sky journalist pulling out, for example, Benjamin Netanyahu's stats on child killings and asking a guest to admit he's not a nice guy before being allowed to proceed to defend him in some way or to talk about the Israeli state's role in Gaza? Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just by the way that Jeremy Corbyn was asked at the tail end of a more substantive piece. It's that the guy led with it and actually even said the words, let's leave aside for a moment what the US has done. It's extraordinary. That guy was such a brainless lapdog, and unfortunately so many media pundits of his ilk are. But yeah, it's absolutely maddening for the comparative reasons that you draw rightly, Stephen, with Israel, but also just the way in which such people think that they are there simply to confuse very, very obvious wrongdoing in terms of international law. What that individual is doing there is, in his own small, brainless way, trying to manufacture consent for this and trying to normalise something that is highly abnormal and should not be normalised.